You're thinking about making the move to Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, but you want to know the good and the bad, the pros and the cons, the yin and the yang? Well, in today's video, we are going to do just that. We're going to really dive into this and give you all the information that we have so that you can make the decision whether or not it's the right fit for you and your family. And then, of course, we can jump more into the real estate side of things when you give us a call or schedule a Zoom call, whatever it may be when we first start talking in some manner. However, sit back, relax, and let's jump into the pros and cons of Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. If you're new to the channel and you want to know all things about living in Cleveland, Ohio, well, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you can be notified when we upload a new video and stay up to date on all things Cleveland. My name is Kip Sweeney with Living Cleveland, Ohio, powered by Mancuso Homes, eXp Realty, and we get calls from people just like yourself every single day looking to move in 9 days, 9 months, whatever it may be. We are here to assist and make sure that you have a smooth transition here. My contact information is in the description box below, so make sure to schedule a call, a Zoom meeting, or shoot me a text, whatever floats your boat. However, today we're going to jump into the pros and cons of Cuyahoga Falls. So let's get started. Starting with our first pro. So one of the big pros of Cuyahoga Falls is the affordability, right? So you're really able to afford a home of whatever degree you want. Now, it's perfect for first-time home buyers because of the price of the homes. Usually it's gonna be a little less expensive than nearby cities like say Cleveland or Akron, or even those around Cuyahoga Falls like Stowe or Hudson. So you have the ability to kind of get your money to go a little further with that house. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the cons later on why these are a little bit more affordable, but this is one of the big pros. So the affordability, and along with this affordability of the real estate market and the homes and what's out there, you're also really able to get kind of a nice deal because you're outside of the Cuyahoga County, right? Cuyahoga County, not Falls, right? So the Cuyahoga County, you're outside of that main county that most of Cleveland is in. And so you're not getting taxed as heavily. So Cuyahoga County, the property tax is gonna be a lot more expensive than what Cuyahoga Falls is in. So Cuyahoga Falls goes into Summit County, which is going to be a little cheaper when it comes to being taxed and things of that nature. So it's kind of a win-win. You have the ability to get around, right? So the location is also a big pro because you're in Cuyahoga Falls, which is very affordable when it comes to real estate and other things such as groceries and other things that may be a little bit more expensive in a big city, but you're also right next to them, and not just one, but next to two. So you have Cleveland, which is pretty close. Cleveland's gonna be about a 40-minute drive, and then you have Akron, which is closer. Akron's gonna be about a 20-minute drive, and so you have the ability to go to really either or, whether that's a sports game, right? So Cleveland's gonna have a little bit more of the major league sports, while Akron has a little bit more of the minor leagues, but also college sports. So you really can enjoy whatever it is you may like in pretty close proximity. You're not gonna be driving too far for either or, and you have the ability to do what Akron has to offer that Cleveland doesn't have to offer, and vice versa. So it's a pretty nice win with the affordability, with the proximity to everything. You are very close, and this also includes freeways. So freeways are right there, you have easy access to them, and it's gonna get you wherever you need to go. So getting around Cuyahoga Falls and getting from Cuyahoga Falls to Cleveland to Akron or to nearby cities is very easy as well. So this is a very big pro because you're not gonna be getting stuck in traffic too often. You're not gonna be, trying to figure out what you wanna do because you have a lot of options. And of course, you're not gonna be breaking the bank to live in, let's say, Rocky River, Ohio, which got voted one of the best cities not too long ago for retirees. So that's a little bit more expensive for that reason. So you're really gonna get a great opportunity to find a great starter home if that's what you're in the market for, or to upgrade, right? So if you're looking to upgrade and to find a bigger home, you just had some kids, you guys need to upgrade and have more space, or you just want to, whatever it may be, you have that option as well because Cuyahoga Falls has every house, from starter homes all the way up to new communities and new developments. So if you watched my Strongsville video, it's very similar to that, where whatever you're in the market for, whatever your budget is and allows for, you'll be able to find that home in Cuyahoga Falls. Now, in some instances, you may need to do a couple updates, upgrades cosmetically to the house, but I would say that's gonna be pretty common in most cities, right? depending on the budget and how much you're looking to spend, of course. So a big pro, you have the option to upgrade, first-time home buyer, or if you're a retiree and you're just over all the expenses, it's a great place to also go as well. Continuing with the real estate market side of things, another pro for Cuyahoga Falls is the value. So right, we were just talking about how it's great for anyone that wants to get their money to go a little further, but this also is for investors as well. So if you're an investor watching this video and you want somewhere to put money that is gonna go a little further, Cuyahoga Falls is a great spot, right? So with that, the city is growing, and so obviously the homes are going to appreciate. So you have that ability to get into a market that is still growing and gaining more and more popularity with a great value, at a great value, I should say. And so Cuyahoga Falls really offers that ability to kind of find that if you're a first-time investor, or if you're just trying to add to the portfolio, but you're not trying to break the bank once again, then it's a great spot to kind of look and to find those investment properties, because people do rent in Cuyahoga Falls. Or of course, if you're just trying to fix and flip, you have that option as well. And that kind of leads to a pro-con, I guess. What I'm getting to is that Cuyahoga Falls does have older homes. It has historic homes, right? Some of them are getting to that century time. And so with that, many of them, not all of them, have been updated. So if you're a real estate investor and you're looking to fix and flip, or you're doing the BRRRR method or whatever it may be, you have that option to do that, because there are older homes that still need to be updated, upgraded, and so on. So you have the opportunity to come in at what's going to be a great value, do what you need to do to the house, and get out if that's your plan. Or you have the option to refinance and then rent it out at market value and then put that money into something else and continue that trend. So it's really up to you. You have quite a bit of play of how you want to invest in Cuyahoga Falls, and you can get really creative with it, which is a great pro for the town, for the city, right? It's not similar to Lakewood, if you watch that video, where it's gonna be a little bit more expensive and the demand and competition is gonna be a lot higher, which makes investing in Lakewood a little bit more difficult, or you just have to be ready to kind of put that money out a little bit more. You have to be more comfortable with that. Maybe more experienced, things of that nature. The next pro is going to be the small town charm, but with urban amenities and an urban feel. So Cuyahoga Falls recently had their downtown area revitalized with boutique shops and local restaurants and stores and things of that nature. But what happened is it made it a lot easier to access and to walk around and to get to. So they really put a ton of money into revitalizing the downtown space and bringing in new restaurants and places for people to enjoy. So not only do they have local events and community events, which is going to be another pro here in a second, but they bring in, they have exciting times around the holidays. They do bar crawls around St. Patrick's Day and other times when that stuff is usually common. And they really partake in these local events and community events where people really get to come down, easily park, and get to the downtown space. And with some of that stuff that the downtown has to offer, and local in Cuyahoga Falls includes breweries as well. So it's not just in that downtown space, but you're gonna be able to find a ton of different fun things to do in Cuyahoga Falls. It's going to be something that you can easily get to as well. You're not gonna be overcrowded or anything of that nature. Now, it'll be busy, but it's not gonna be something that you're gonna dread to do or not wanna do, like say going to a sports game. Obviously that draws a ton of people, so usually you're fighting crowds, right? And it's not gonna be like that, but you're definitely gonna have a nice time. There's gonna be people, it's gonna be busy, and it's gonna be lively, which is really nice. And that's if you go to the downtown area, if you go to different breweries. And something else that I would include in that is that Cuyahoga Falls sure has its chains, but it also has a nice mix of locally owned businesses, which is fun and nice to see, because I would say people enjoy supporting those a lot of the time. But not only that, it's also something that offers a unique change to the food scene or to the retail space and things like that as well. So it offers you a little bit more flexibility. It offers you a little bit more things to see. You are able to go enjoy these new spots and shops that you otherwise wouldn't have heard of unless you were in that area. So Cuyahoga Falls really offers kind of the best of both worlds, whether that's going to a Target or your local grocery store, whatever it may be, a locally owned grocery store at that, or a farmer's market. Cuyahoga Falls has that as well. So it really is going to offer a lot, especially throughout the year. Obviously, summer is going to bring a ton, fall will bring a lot, and it's just something that you're never gonna run out of activities or things to do. And if you do, you get to go to Akron, Cleveland, and Hudson, Stowe, whatever it may be. Now, Stowe is going to be a little bit more on the residential side of things. It doesn't have a whole ton as Cuyahoga Falls does. You'll probably see people from Stowe coming into Cuyahoga Falls. So keep that in mind. However, you're gonna find what you want in Cuyahoga Falls. You're not gonna run out of those things. Obviously, you might have to be repeating things, but it's going to be something where you're gonna see new things pop up. You're gonna see new restaurants or retail space or venues come into Cuyahoga Falls as it continues to grow. So you have that to look forward to, as well as people continue to put businesses there. You really get to enjoy it and experience all this new stuff. So the next pro, and one of my favorite pros, is just the nature, the scenery, the access to the Cuyahoga National Valley Park, which is a beautiful spot. It's probably one of the most beautiful hiking trails and metro parks in Ohio, to be honest. Maybe, I think Hiking Hills is right outside. However, long story short, it's right in your backyard in Cuyahoga Falls, and so it really allows you to just kind of enjoy whatever it may be that you want to enjoy. So being able to get out there and go running, go walking, walk the trails, go kayaking on the Cuyahoga River. You can go just make it a lazy river, get a floaty and go down it. Maybe you take the dog to the park, or maybe you go throw a frisbee, a football, play some baseball, go for a barbecue, whatever it is. You have these options and very, very easily accessible to you in a very beautiful spot. And I would suggest, and we'll look at it in the Google Maps video, but the Gorge Metro Park as well as the Waterworks Park. Both are gonna be pretty nice. They're gonna be very popular as well. So I don't know if that's gonna be a deterrent, but they're gonna be beautiful. They're gonna really allow you to do whatever it is that you're looking to do at the Metro Parks. But it's a great city to be able to get out, to do things, to enjoy the outdoors, the sun while we have it, the water, and to do anything else that you might want to do. What will probably be our last pro for today is the family and community-oriented atmosphere. So it's a great place to have families, whether that's for the schools. I can't speak too much on them, of course. However, you can go to niche.com or greatschools.org to really kind of do your own research, but they are good. So you can look for that and be excited about that for your children if you have some or if you plan to. But not only that, but for maybe a newlyweds, new family, where you're looking for activities to still do, as we kind of mentioned before. Cuyahoga Falls has those seasonal activities. They have Oktoberfest, they have an Irish festival. It's things that like this that continue to bring people here and really offer all this stuff and all these different amenities. It's a lot of fun to be able to use this to explore Cuyahoga Falls. If you're new to the area, you go and enjoy one of these community events, and it takes you around Cuyahoga Falls so that you can really learn it and experience and see what it has to offer, because there truly is a lot in this town. It's not a town that's, it's not huge by any means, so you're not getting bombarded with people. So it's kind of a nice, family-friendly, community-oriented city, but where people from nearby and neighboring cities will come in to do and partake in these activities, which is perfectly fine, of course, but you don't have to deal with that being, you don't have to deal with traffic trying to get into that city, right? So if you're coming from Stowe or Hudson or Akron or somewhere else, you're not dealing with that traffic all the time. You're gonna deal with it when they come in, of course, but 24/7, it's not gonna be that way. So I would say this is a pro, the community, just being able to feel safe, to know that if you're having children or already have children, the schools are good. Of course, you will have to do a little bit more detail on that or research on that. As a real estate agent, I can't do too much there. And of course, just being able to enjoy the different events and the different atmospheres, whether that's looking for children-friendly events to go to tire them out or to give them something to do, or doing more adult-based events, right? Like Oktoberfest and the Irish Festival and things around St. Patrick's Day and all that good stuff. It's totally up to you. You can do more things outdoors, you can do things indoors. There is something for everyone. So it's a really fun town, and it's something that needs to be explored whether you live there or not, really. All right, let's jump into some of the cons. So the first con we'll start with is the limited nightlife. I know I mentioned the improved and renovated downtown area, which has brought a lot of different shops and restaurants and bars and breweries, and this is true. However, the nightlife isn't gonna be something crazy. It's gonna be active, it's gonna be lively, but if you're looking for things that are open really, really late, you're not gonna really find that, right? There's an Insomnia Cookie somewhere, but you're not gonna find these bars and clubs that are going to be busy, open till 2, 4 a.m., whatever it may be. If you are looking for that, that's gonna be something that you're gonna look for more so downtown. Downtown Cleveland, downtown Akron, depending on which one you want to go to or what you want to do. Now, the limited nightlife is a con, but it's not saying that you can't go out and enjoy the bar scene or enjoy breweries. It's just more so like the clubs. You're not gonna find that type of stuff and DJs and things of that nature. But you're gonna find, if there's a sports game, if there's an event happening, these bars and these breweries are gonna be very busy. And a ton of people are gonna come out. They're gonna not only support the business, but they're also gonna go and support whatever team they're there to watch or whatever game it is there that is happening that night. So these places do get active and are very lively. It's just that you're not finding those clubs and DJs that are out at the clubs open till 2 or 4 a.m. in Cuyahoga Falls. All right, so the next con is going to be the aging infrastructure in some areas. So this was a little bit of a pro earlier on for investors or first-time home buyers or anything of that nature, where you're gonna get a little bit more money or value, and your money's gonna go a little bit further. But one of the cons about this is that, again, some of these homes are hitting the century era. They're getting to that century, becoming century homes. And so they are gonna be a little outdated, or they're going to need some work, or they might not have AC. They might still be using a boiler, whatever it may be, things of this nature. Some of these things aren't gonna have been changed. So it's something that you'll have to consider. You might have to do it yourself. Along with that, some of these homes are going to have detached garages. Now, we also said there are new communities and there are newer builds, and that is the case. It all just depends on your budget and what you're looking to spend. But for the most part, a lot of these really affordable homes are going to be in that older range. And so this is going to be one of the hiccups that you might have when finding the house. You might have to sacrifice, let's say, brand new floors for the historic wood that was there. And some people like that. So don't get me wrong, that's something that people want, but some people might say, oh, I want to update those floors because it creaks and you can hear it and it's too loud. Something along those lines, right? So it depends. It's going to be house by house. It's going to vary on what people have done, the updates that have been done already, and what it is that you're willing to maybe give and take, right? There's always going to be kind of something because of the house. Now, again, picture Lakewood, Ohio, where those are going to be the same, where they are century homes or nearing it. And some of these houses, are a little outdated or a little old, or they haven't been updated with a new furnace or an AC in a long time, or they have a really old roof. So some of these things that you have to take into consideration when making your purchase, right? So you have to either have maybe the accessible capital to make these repairs, or have someone that can help you kind of get some concessions back on your offer to help make these repairs, or whatever it may be that fits in your current situation and how you want to go ahead and buy this home. So that's why it's always very important to kind of talk that out so people understand where you sit, what it's like, and what you're looking for, and then making that needs, that wants list, and then of course getting into these homes in person as well so that you could feel it. You could feel the room size and just what it would be like to live in there. Because with some of them, you might find that with the older homes, they might have a smaller kitchen and you really love to cook and you want that bigger kitchen. So again, all of it is something you have to consider. You have to get in there, check it out, smell it, as weird as that sounds, and just feel the atmosphere, what it's like, and of course the neighborhoods and what that's like too. Going on the neighborhoods and basing it off that, this isn't necessarily a con because most of these streets are pretty wide. However, again, thinking of Lakewood, Cuyahoga Falls, many of the neighborhoods do have a lot of street parking, right? So you're gonna see sometimes cars are lined up in the streets. Now, it's not gonna be anything like Lakewood, Ohio, where it's all the way up and down these streets, but it is something that you'll see is pretty common, and that is something to take into consideration as well. I know that's the common word today, but it's just something that you have to know. Hey, you okay with that or not so much? Because there are, of course, areas in Cuyahoga Falls where there isn't a whole ton of street parking because they're newer development and they're newer homes, and either they have the space to park or rules, HOA and stuff like that don't necessarily allow it, depending on that. Going off of the aging infrastructure is also going to be a little bit of the roads. So you might notice some of the roads are going to be a little bit, they might have a little bit more potholes or a little bit bumpier than some of the other areas, and that's being worked on, of course. But as of right now, on January 13th of 2025, it is something that you're going to take into, I'm not saying it, it is something that you will want to note. It's something that there is that, the bumpiness, the potholes, there is that infrastructure that's still being worked on and getting fixed. Now, of course, you're not going 60 miles per hour down the road, so I'd hope not. So these things aren't gonna kill you. They're able to easily avoid and go around, of course. However, it's still, there's some scenarios where you can't move in time, or you don't have the ability because of traffic and you have to hit them, or you accidentally hit them, and it's just like, kind of frustrating. So it's something to think about as well. It's something that you will notice when you travel to Cuyahoga Falls, but it is something that is also being worked on and fixed. All right, next up, the limited public transportation. So if you don't drive, it might be kind of hard to get around. You can Uber, of course, but when it comes to buses, and obviously there's no trains or subways, it's not gonna be the easiest to do. And it's not gonna be something that you're gonna necessarily be riding a bike or walking around all the time. Because again, that'll be a little bit difficult. Usually you're gonna drive to a place to get there and then walk on foot or go bike riding or whatever it may be. So that's something else to take into consideration. I said it again, consideration. However, that's something else that you have to think about, because if you don't drive or you don't have a car, it might be difficult to get around, to get to work, and to do all those things. And speaking of work and jobs and stuff like that, Cuyahoga Falls has pretty much everything you could think of, which is really nice. Yeah, so it has those jobs, and this is gonna be a pro for it. I guess it's gonna be a little bit of a mix, but they have the jobs that everyone's gonna do. They have the common jobs, whether you're an engineer, you're a nurse, you're a doctor. The things I would say that aren't gonna be as common in Cuyahoga Falls might be the IT jobs. There are some, but IT jobs and the finance jobs a little bit more so, but really for the most part, you're gonna find all the jobs and anything like that in Cuyahoga Falls. So again, another pro for the most part, but more so neutral, I would say, just because depending on what you're doing and what your position is and what your role is, might determine whether or not you'll be able to find that job in Cuyahoga Falls, or you're gonna have to look outside of that and go to Cleveland or Akron, where it's gonna be a bigger city where those positions will be available. So again, just depends on what you do, what your role is, what you're looking for, and the commute that you're interested in. The last con for today is going to be the traffic. And not traffic 24/7, but just the traffic that comes when events are being hosted. So if you're not someone that wants to see a lot of people coming to your city, whether that's for a festival, for Oktoberfest or the Irish Festival, whatever it may be, then it may not be the best of fits, depending on what area you move into in Cuyahoga Falls and where that festival is being held, because this traffic is going to come in from surrounding cities. So if you're okay with that, then great. But if you're someone that doesn't want to see a whole ton of just people coming into the city for a couple hours and then driving out or leaving, then it can be a little rough. Now, cities like Stowe, which is next door, is going to be a little bit more residential. So people might be driving through there, but they're not going to really be coming there to do much. No offense to that city, but that's the case. That's just how it is. It's just going to be a little bit more residential. And some people like that because it's a little less traffic. So Cuyahoga Falls is going to have its ups and downs. Now, of course, it will be a little busier around rush hour times. What city isn't? But it's something that you'll want to know, because if you're driving out for some eggs at the grocery store because you forgot them, then it's something that might stop you. Might think, oh, what time is it? Oh, I don't want to deal with that. Either construction because the city is growing, or that traffic because it's 4:30 p.m. Things like that. So it's something that I wanted to throw out there so that you have that information to keep in mind, because again, we sometimes see the houses, we love the house, but we don't think about what's around, how far is it going to get to work, how far is it going to take me to get to the grocery store, and things like that, where the excitement is high for the home, but then we take 15 minutes to get to the grocery store that should be only like 5 minutes away, right? And of course, it's going to be at its times, it's going to have its highs and lows, it's going to have its busy hours, just like most cities that have things to offer and more amenities and things that people are going to want to come into, but also where people are commuting to work. So it's common, rush hour times, morning, afternoons. During the middle time, it's not going to be busy. It's not going to be bad at all. So just know that, understand the times, and know when you're going somewhere and have an idea of how long it might take. So not necessarily a con or a pro. It's here nor there. This is going to be just something neutral. It's some information that I want to include. Cuyahoga Falls does have some areas where you're going to find HOAs, and it has some areas where you will be able to not be a part of an HOA. So depending on what you want in Cuyahoga Falls, you'll be able to find that. So similar to Strongsville, Ohio, where that's, I guess, a little bit more leans towards HOAs. This one in Cuyahoga Falls is going to be a little bit of a mix. So again, depending on your budget, your location within, and where you want to be, it all kind of depends on whether or not that OHOA is going to be a deal killer or not. These aren't going to be anything crazy. These HOAs aren't insane, you know, maybe a couple $100 for the whole year, like $200, $300, $400 the whole year, or somewhere around there. So it's not gonna be insane by any means, but it is something to consider, you know, because when you are paying it either monthly or bi-monthly or anything of that nature, quarterly, obviously it's something that you have to think of because of utilities and other bills that are there. So just something that I wanted to throw out there while I was talking about communities and the neighborhoods. So who is this for, right? So we wrapped up, who is this city for? Well, honestly, really anyone. This is a city where anyone can find their niche, their community, whatever it may be, right? You have first-time home buyers, where it's going, or new families at that, where it's going to be affordable. You have good schools. You're going to have a family-friendly and community-oriented city. It's going to be somewhere that raising your children will be nice, right? Or you're an outdoor enthusiast. You can go and enjoy the national parks. You can enjoy the Cuyahoga River. You can enjoy the outdoors, the sun, and barbecue, throw a frisbee, whatever it may be. Or if you're a retiree, but you don't want to keep spending and having all these expenses on the home, or whatever it may be, maybe you need to downgrade, whatever it may be, whatever that is that's causing you to maybe want it out of your current home, retirees can come here and they can experience what might be a little bit of a slower life, slower pace, if depending on what they do and where they go, but also they're gonna be able to use the money and have a lot of value in their home because what they might be moving from is gonna go pretty far in Cuyahoga Falls. You know, again, the value for these homes are going to be very nice right now. Your money's going to go a little further than other cities because of the growing community and because of maybe some of the older homes. So it's going to be kind of a perfect fit for them as well. And then lastly, commuters. So if you're someone who is looking for a great value in a house and you're okay driving, let's say you work in Akron, but you don't want to live in Akron, this is a great spot, right? So Cuyahoga Falls is very close to Cleveland, Akron, and it's very easily accessible with its freeway system and with the roads and the infrastructure that is there for the roads. Now, of course, we spoke about a little bit about how the pavement is, the condition, but the infrastructure there and getting around is very easy, very accessible, getting on the freeway and then taking that freeway elsewhere. It's very easy to commute around Cuyahoga Falls within and of course outside of it as well. So really, this is one of those cities that's gonna be a perfect fit for pretty much anyone, depending on what you want and what you're looking for and what your lifestyle is. You'll be able to find that niche within Cuyahoga Falls. So there you have it, the pros and cons of Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Whether it's the affordable housing, the sense of a community, the adventurous outdoors, it really has a ton to offer and it really can be a perfect fit for anyone, no matter what they're looking for. Now, of course, no place is perfect. Some of those cons being the infrastructure, the older homes, things of that nature, is still there. However, the benefits really do outweigh the cons. Of course, if you have anything to add, if you're from the area, if you know anything about it, please drop that information in the comments below so that we can keep everyone informed in case I missed anything. I want to make sure that we can continue to help each other find the perfect spot. And of course, please reach out if you have any other questions, if you want to dive deeper into the real estate side of things. I'll be very happy to help you. My contact information is in the description box below, and I look forward to a call, text, scheduling a Zoom, whatever it may be. But for now, take care. Let me know if you liked the video, subscribe, hit that notification bar, and I'll see you in the next video.